Hello there. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Azar. I come from University Sriwijaya, which is located in Indonesia, Indralaya. So, you guys came here for the explanation of this book, right? Of the book that I just read, which is Basic English Grammar by Bettty Scramfer. This is the third edition, by the way. I will be explaining the second edition later on in the video. I will be explaining every content inside of this book. There are 10 contents, or should I say 10 chapters in this book, which is a lot for this many pages. So I will be explaining each of the content of this chapter book, the only important parts, and the summary. Of course, I won't be explaining every of them, because again, it will take a very long time to actually to watch this. So please enjoy my summary and my video. Hope you enjoy. Basic English Grammar, second edition by Bettty Scramfer Azar. I will be explaining the contents of the book. This is my introduction. I'm pretty sure I don't need to dub this, but in case if you didn't know how to spell my name, now you know. Now let's just go straight to the first chapter. There are 10 chapters in this book. I will be explaining in summary of each of the chapters and the important part and so on. I won't be explaining too long because I think it will be very boring to you guys. So, just watch and just read and watch. For the first chapter is using be and have. There are many of using be, singular, plural, contraction, negative, and interrogation. For have, there's really not much in this chapter, but I will explain the difference between have and has. For singular of using be, which means, by the way, one, you have to use the word a. Why? Because a expresses for one, or should I say singular. For examples, Canadian is a country. For plural, which means, by the way, many, you have to use the word are. Again, are expresses many things, which is basically just plural. Examples of using be in plural are cats are animal. For contraction, there are 3 words: am, is, and are. Again, you have to use these 3 based on the context of the sentence, based on the subject word of the sentence actually. For example, if you want to use the word am, you have to use the word I as a subject. You cannot use any other subject because again, I is only for am. So, now for the contraction of the am is, of course, I am turns into I'm, so the contraction is I'm. Same goes to is, which is only used for he, she, it. Same goes to are, which are can only use for you, they, and we. And here's some examples of negative and interrogation of using be. Now for the last part in this chapter, I will be explaining the difference between have and has. Just like the contraction, you have to use it based on the context. For using have, you have to use the subject I, you, they, we. If you want to use the word has, you have to, again, based on the context of the subject and the sentence. If the subject of the sentence is he, she, it, you have to use has. So again, the difference between these two is that you have to use he, she, it for has, and you have to use I, you, they, we for have. For the second chapter is expressing present time. There are actually 2 parts of this. I just combined those 2 chapters into one. So yeah. There are 2 things that I want to note of in expressing present time, which is simple present tense and of course progressive tense. You guys already know what is present tense, right? Especially progressive tense. I think I don't need to explain it more. You guys can just take a screenshot and probably learn it by yourself. Of course, if you want me to say it, I'm pretty sure there's no need to, but yeah. You guys can just take a screenshot of it, study it, note it, and much more. Now for the nouns and pronouns, I will be explaining nouns and pronouns. Nouns are used to identify any of a class of person and many more. You can use nouns for 2 things, which is subject and object. Here are the examples of nouns using as a subject and as an object. In this sentence, John is holding a pen. In the word John, noun is used as a subject. In the word a pen, noun is used as an object. For a pronoun, what is a pronoun? Pronoun is a word that is used instead of noun or noun phrase. For pronouns, you can use it two things, subject and object. Here are some examples of the sentence. Tom speaks English. Same goes to object. English is spoken by him. Now for the next chapter, I will be expressing past time. Now, what is expressing past time? Expressing past time involves describing action, events, or states that occurred or were completed in the past. So here are some examples of expressing past time. There are many of them, and I will be explaining many of types of past time. Use of ed, which basically means just added with a ed at the end of a verb. For examples are, I walked to the class yesterday. Again, ed explains past time, so if you want to explain it with a verb, you can use it like this. I walked to the class every day yesterday. Here are some examples of past of positive, past of negative, and past of interrogative. I was in class yesterday, which is very simple. Again, subject, verb, and an object, which is very simple. Past of negative, they were not in class yesterday. Again, it is very simple. Subject, were or was, not plus object. It is very easy. I'm pretty sure I don't need to explain many more. The last one is simple past tense positive, simple past tense negative, and simple past tense interrogative. This is the very basic of simple past tense for past time. For example, the positive is I came to class yesterday. For the positive simple present tense, you cannot use the first verb. Next up is expressing future time. What is expressing future time? Expressing future time refers to how we talk about actions, events, or situations that will happen after the present moment. There are many types of future times I will be explaining in this chapter, which are some examples of using be as a positive, negative, and interrogative. Now next up I will be explaining for expressing future time is the use condition of will and may, or shall I say might. Use will in conditionals to say that we think that will happen 100% in the future, or shall I say in the present. Some examples for using will is Mike will go to the library tomorrow, which means of course Mike will 100% will go to the library tomorrow. However, for may, or shall I say might, is used in conditionals to express possibility in the future. So it's basically a 50-50. For example, it may rain tomorrow basically means it is not sure if it will rain tomorrow or not. So yeah, may or might is again to express possibility in the future. Now moving on to the expressing ability. Expressing ability is a way of indicating that someone can do something or has the skill, knowledge, or capacity to perform a particular action. There are some things that I noted of in this chapter, which is using can expresses ability and possibility. For example of using can are I can buy a book. Using know how to express ability. For example, I know how to swim, and many much more words for like cold and be able to. Those are some examples of expressing ability. Now next up is nouns, adjective, and pronouns. It's very simple. I have explained it earlier what is nouns and pronouns, so I'm pretty sure I don't need to explain it again, but I will be explaining adjective. What is an adjective? Adjective is a word that modifies or describes a noun or pronoun. This is our objective order: opinion, size, age, color, nationality, and material. Example of a sentence that involves nouns, adjective, and pronoun are: the curious cat followed her to the garden. Of course, the noun is a cat, is the cat. The curious is the adjective, and her is the pronoun. Next up is comparison. What is comparison? Comparison by word indicates the degree, quality, or quantity of a word, phrase, or cause. There are some comparison examples and words that you can use. For example, same, similar, different, unlike, and but. Now for the last panel, we have expressing ideas with verbs. What is expressing ideas with verbs? Expressing ideas with verbs involves using action words, verbs, to convey thoughts, opinions, or feelings. There are some, again, words that you can use for expressing ideas with verbs, and some examples are there. Okay, I think that's pretty much all I need to explain and I need to share. Again, if I made any mistakes, I'm sorry, but I truly did my research here, and this is my work, and I noted off some important stuff in each chapter, so you guys can just rewind the video and watch it again. And I think that is all. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share to your friends and family to get educated more and more. I think that is all. Bye bye. Thank you so much.